Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Minister Papa San! I do that because I long to introduce you on the stage. Welcome, son. How are you doing?
Blessed, Sir Rich, It's been a while and good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. Same here.
So many years,
I tell you, bro.
Yeah, man.
It's interesting that your current upcoming album is titled Life Lessons.
Yes.
And one of the points you were making off the air is that I would have been there, sort of known you from so long.
Yes.
And all of those experiences are put in this album, I suspect, son.
Yeah, a lot of things, and it don't take more than one album to complete the whole thing, but at the end of the day, we get through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole history from day one,
day one.
lives, our upbringing and coming up in music back then and, involving from one to the next and then moving on to gospel.
Yeah.
The whole history is there. So you just try to tell it out in songs at times and show them that, only what to do for Christ will last and so forth, and just allow him to work through you at this time. So we're using the good news of the gospel as the medicine for the cure, for whatever we go through in life. God can able to use his word to deal with situations.
Yeah. This album, we understand, is 2 years in the making. Why has it taken you 2 years?
It not really take me. It had to like about 30 odd songs, to be honest.
Okay.
It's supposed to be out earlier, but the COVID-19 kind of set things back a little bit. About 2 years out as well. And so it's just that it just pacing myself, just doing songs and recording. Because I'm a pastor, so I still have to deal with that as well. And just take my time and just get it together. And we still haven't released half of it yet.
Oh, really?
This is just 10 songs.
Wow.
We love write the thing, we love write the lyrics, so we still write,
Yeah, man. I wanted to say good morning to DJ Roy, who is with us live out of New York City.
Right.
Virgin, we had a lengthy conversation last night.
Yeah. Mr. Roy.
And what can I say, man? After our conversation last night and after the history and our journey together, proud of what you continue to do, man. You're a man of God. And what I love is the fact that even your dancehall fans from yesteryear still remains your fans today, because they love your lyrics, they love what you present, and they love what you represent, Virgin. So even though it's not with my name is Daddy Sanchez, they still love when you're doing your gospel music the same way, Virgin.
Blessings and honor, and God is great and God is good,
Yes.
And I really appreciate it, Mr. Rai. Blessing to you, sir.
Much love.
San, people would want me to ask you, we haven't spoken like this in a long time. Your transition from the dancehall world to the gospel arena, what was that like for you, and how did it really come about?
Richie, when you max out yourself, you max out yourself, to be honest with you. Coming from where I'm coming from as a youth, growing up in the ghetto, we never have it. And you move past your long life dream. If you just go on a stage, it was a dream.
Right.
And when you move through dancehall and move through talent shows and DJ of the year and stage show and traveling the whole world and get so much songs and making money and stuff like that. End of the day, you look back on your life and you say, oh, things that the money could have do it and it no work. Flirty girls, the girls that never do it, that no work. Fame, popularity, that still no work. You still feel empty. You still feel depressed. You feel like a lonely man in a crowded room. And that's the kind of feeling, because there's a void inside of every person that only God can fill it. And so no material things, no drugs, nothing. Everything is temporary fix, you call it, And that void inside is where God wants to live.
Yeah.
And that's why man seek after drugs and seek after things, but them just get hangover and then have to go back and do the same thing because it's a temporary fix. And that's why you find someone do plastic surgery, man 5 hours and them still in a depression and commit suicide. You can't fill that void with any material things, and that's what was missing in my life.
Yeah.
So when I went to Africa, 1997, Third World, when I got back from Africa, just reading the scriptures and really talking to the Lord, was searching for Christ, And there wasn't a church man, because me not grew up in a church, the dancehall thing we grew up in, and the conviction came. And I know I need to give my heart to Christ, because I know that nothing could fix this. And so I went down to the church, spoke with the pastor and said, listen, I just need to surrender my life to God. I just need to know if Christ loved me, if Jesus loved me, if he will forgive me. I don't know much about him, but I know it was him.
At that moment, you weren't even thinking about what you might be losing. Music
was the last thing on my mind. I didn't remember, but I forget I was a singer.
Time come.
I was shaking.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was like 2 days. The conviction was strong.
Yeah.
God is saying, now. you know.
right.
She said no or never, no. You know, that kind of a feeling. And I went down there and we talked, and he knew exactly what I was going through. And I repented of everything and just surrendered my life to Christ right
Great.
there. And I'm telling you, it's like a light bulb turn on. I look back on my past and I cannot believe I was living that way. You ever heard me say once I was blind but now I can see?
Yes.
True story. Trust me, it's like you're in the dark all along and you see a light and you say, I made that.
Yeah.
I really made it live like this.
Yeah.
You know, you call it born again. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and from that time, you know, my appetite for those things has been erased. 25 years now, still remain the same.
Yeah.
I have no appetite for those life anymore. You know?
Okay.
Nice. It seems like your purpose in life just changed towards
Exactly.
giving life purpose.
Yes.
I'm gonna give thanks to that. Give thanks for that. I'm gonna know the youth them out there appreciate the message.
Yes.
And it really does boil down for us to us you discovering life's lessons, which is a nice like a segue into
Yes.
what the album dropping this Friday is all about.
Awesome.
So if you can tell us a little bit more about life lessons, will the youths be getting more of those messages about how you ended up turning your life around, or what is the consciousness behind life lessons?
That's the purpose. That's my purpose. My purpose, you know, you have two set of people in the world. You have one who learn from experience and one who learn from what they have heard. You know, all of us have to experience two part of it. But I rather learn from when somebody can tell me something and I can say, me see it happen to you, me not gonna make it happen to me. Than learn from experiences all the time. Because if me have to get a shot for no shot feel like
You prefer
you
not
know,
to.
Yeah.
where I
I
know say we
understand.
can learn from someone who already get it.
Yeah.
You know, and things like that. So this is what life lessons is about. It's to share my life and other people's life and experiences and show them, say, hey, listen, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. So the solution here is God. See, Mama says, I love you. You know, you feel like him reject you. No, God says, still love you unconditionally. It no matter what you have done.
Yeah.
You know, whether good or bad, God love remain the same. It's unconditionally called agape. And you have people out there that just think that, oh, me do too much and God not love me. No, God not love you. Nobody else more than him love me. And him love the murderer, the sinner man, just like him love us. Him not love the sin, but him love the persons. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
And some people don't get that because they have done so much and feel like, oh, God not love me. No, God love never change. Never change for no one.
Never
He can't
change,
stop
Papa
himself
San.
from loving you.
This,
You know?
this is such an inspiring conversation we're having. If you just joined us here on Bridge 99 or on Ira Jam Radio, we have Minister Papa San in the studio here at Bridge, and he has an album coming out called Life Lessons, dropping this Friday.
Yes.
On what platforms?
VP Records.
Okay. Well,
First time back on VP Records since I got saved. God,
Yes.
VP have all hits them from
Yes,
long time.
yes, yes.
You know, but when I got saved, I got signed early.
Uh-huh.
You know, and so I was on a contract all the time, most
Right.
of the time. You know, so
Roy, you wanted to say something. I hear you.
You know, when I think about, you know, San, and I think about, you know, other artists that are struggling with what San is talking about, the transition. What advice do you have for them? Because there's so many people that are, and not just even artists, even people in general, that they're on that borderline. I want to give my life to Jesus. I want to give my life to God, but boy, Stone Love I play down the road. You know what I mean? So, what advice would you give them for those that are struggling with that?
you see, who's the best person to give your life to? The one who creates you, who know you inside out, who have the breath. You have your breath, can take it at any time. You know, and it's the grace of God that keep us going. You know what I'm saying? And it's His love that keep us going at times. So I would say to them that, listen, you try everything already, and you see, say it never work. And just look around you. You see people who are millionaires and artists who make it in life, and they have 7 houses, 17 cars, and still commit suicide. They wonder what happened. What could lead a person to do that? And you see a man living now bored out with a little red oak floor and him ride a donkey and him have peace. Him not have no stress. Him not have no depression because him have Christ. That is the difference. You know, so we have to leave the outer part of it and start and try to figure out things for our own selves. And just say, God, I'm gonna trust you because you know the end from you declare the end from the beginning. You know it before it happens.
Yeah.
You know, nothing taken by surprise. You are the one who been surprised by things. And so just give your heart to Him because Him have the power to get you through any situation that you find yourself in. You know, and He's the best person to surrender your life to.
Yeah. We know that we have seen you overseas several times working on major stage events, shows and so on with other big international gospel artists. Have you done any collaborations for this album, Life Lessons?
This is the only album out of my 8 albums. This is the 8th album now that I have no collab on it. Can you imagine?
Really?
Every single album of a collab.
Yeah.
And the One Blood album that went number one on the Billboard, it was 12 collab and only one song I did by myself. And so this is the only album I have with no collab. But I think it's overdue, for the first time, doing in all my albums.
Yeah. You're a proud family man. We were talking off the air about yesterday. We carried a story about your son Beam,
Yes.
who is featured on Beyonce's latest album, Renaissance.
Yes.
Yes.
You also went on to tell me off the air that others of your children are also doing well musically.
Yes.
What can you share with us in that regard?
It's a musical family. It's a
Yes.
musical journey, to be honest with you. I believe that is a part of our legacy. Because my whole family is music, Richie. You know, my father had a local sound system from I was small, and music playing in my yard every week. And then move from that. My mother involved in music before. Used to sing with Slim Smith as well.
Okay.
And then I'm the first one that really explode. They have Dirtsman, you have Gravel. And then it transferred to my children. Never send them to music school, but they play. My little son Timmy is the one that built one of the tracks that we're playing today.
Okay.
And being produced most of my albums and stuff like that.
Wow. Fantastic.
He's a writer, he have a
Yeah.
complete package, writer, rap, singer, everything. And then you have Tassan, he's a natural writer.
Yeah.
She signed to Sony as well.
Fantastic.
Beam signed to Sony as well. So it's like and my oldest son Andrew is a writer as well. And so you find the whole family. Sometimes God gifted a family with a certain gift that does go through as a legacy. We have to just use it to please.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody just
partakes in that gift.
transfer down.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic.
For real.
Somebody's messaging us from Atlanta. When is Papa
Yeah.
San coming to Atlanta, Georgia? Management maybe would answer that better than you.
But dates for next year.
Next
Yeah,
year,
yes,
all
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Next year for sure for
Yes.
Atlanta.
Yes.
San, why should people go out and get this album and support this particular project, Life Lessons?
Because life lessons. What else? What else is dear to you? They want to learn something. The Bible says now, like get understanding.
Yeah.
And so we need to understand what life is all about. And a man like me and yourself, been through different levels of experience, and know certain things and see certain things with our own eyes and experience certain things, ourselves. We need to share that.
Yeah.
And we need to show people, say, hey, this is what I get out of it, and this is what God did for me.
Right.
And this is how you deal with that, and this is what you do. And those things can prevent suicide. They can prevent marriage from collapsing. It can prevent so much different things if we just send the right message.
Yeah.
It's not the package, Reggae is always there and dancehall is always there. It's the content.
It's content, indeed.
It's the content.
Yeah,
That's
powerful
the
words. How can people follow you on social media, San?
Well, we have I Am Papa San, that's my Instagram, and that's the Papa San anywhere. It's YouTube, but over the place.
All right.
But once you go up on my Instagram, you
Yeah.
basically
Get the link to everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to get into the two songs from the album that we have, but I think we have to take a break and then go to DJ Roy. But San, it was great seeing you, my brethren.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, we look forward to catching up some more in the near
Yes.
future. Big ups to management. Clive, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
good to
thanks,
see you,
man.
Clive.
Thanks,
and great having you, San. All the best to yourself and your family.
Yes, sir.
Proud of you, my brethren.
blessings to you, man.
Yeah, man, every
Anytime.
time.